Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to see the table tags available in HTML. Tables are mainly used to organize your data in rows and column manner. To start with table structure in HTML, the initial tag is the table tag. Basically, inside the table, the data are organized semantically like table head, table body, and table foot. So to do that, we have the tags called as T head followed by T body and then followed by T foot. Then to give the caption for the table, we have a semantic tag called as caption. So we can give the heading for the table, student information. The environment I am using for the demo is the VS Code. Now to create a row inside the table, we need every row should be created with the tag TR. So for the heading, I have one TR. Inside the body tag, I am going to keep two rows. So TR is a tag which represents row in a table. Then T foot also I need to have a row, so TR. And the first row generally the columns captions. So that will be defaultly given in bold and align in center. So for that we have a tag name called as TH. Inside the TH I need to have three columns, I need to keep it. So I am going to have T3, TH. So TH, TH. So the first column heading I am going to keep serial number, and the second column I am going to have register number, and the third column I am going to have a name. So when I have it, I will save the code, right click, open in default browser. So we are getting the table structure. This is the caption and followed by the columns serial number, register number and name. So here defaultly the border of the table is not visible. So to make it visible, we need to use the property called as border. So when I put border is equal to 1, and again I need to save the code. I can either go here, file, save. Then again I will run in the default browser. So I will get the table structure. So I need to give the width and the height to adjust the size of the table. So we can give the width and the height in terms of pixels or in terms of percentage. So initially I am going to give it in terms of percentage. So when I give it in terms of percentage, go and refresh, it is 100%. So my table will occupy the 100% of my web page size. So if I give 50%, it will occupy the 50% of my page width. So now it will occupy 50%. So the advantage here is when you shrink the size of the web page, the table also adjusted with the 50% of your web page width. And you can give in terms of pixel also. If I give a pixel, so I am giving 300 pixel. You can save it and then refresh. So this table size is fixed to 300 pixel. I can just extend it to 500. Then I am going to adjust the height. So height I am going to give with again 500 pixel. So my table having the width is 500 and the height is 500. Now I don't have any other rows. So the single row itself extended to the total size of that is the total height of the table. And now I am going to add the second row that is inside the body tag. I am going to create three columns that hold the data of the table. That cells inside the table of the second row and the third row going to hold the data. So the tag name is TD. I need to create three columns. So I am going to create 3 TD. So once the TD is created, the first column handles the serial number, second column handles the register number, and the third column handles the name. So like this, the third row I am going to construct inside the body tag. So I just copy and keep creating a 3 rows, but the row contain the serial number and the register number, and I'm going to have the name itself, James. And finally, I'm going to have again in the foot of the table, the last row of my table, I'm going to again keep 3 columns. So 3 columns, I'm going to keep a value as 103, and then I'm going to have the value as John. So now I just save it and go and refresh. So now my table is ready. Defaultly the TH having bold in font size, and also it is aligned center. And then we have the other data cells which having the content aligned with the left side. Suppose you want to align the table in the center of the page. Then you can go here and give the property as align. So align is equal to center. So my table get aligned to the center of my web page. Then I need to give a background color to the table. So I can have a property called as BG color. BG color is equal to yellow. So I'm just giving the color of my table. So the color of the table get changed. And next thing what I want to do is, I want to make the content of the table, that is the data content, to be aligned in the center for the first row alone. So again I have to go here, go to the first row, that is the T body first row. I'm going to make it align is equal to center. So it means that only the first content row, that content, the contents get aligned to the center. Suppose I want to make this content alone need to be aligned to center, that is 102. So I have to go to that cell, make align is equal to center. I go and refresh, only that content get aligned. We know that T head, T body and T foot represent the semantic information about the table. T head represents the head, T body is the body of the table, T foot is the footer information. Suppose you are making this T foot will be placed before the T body. Even though you put the T foot before the T body, semantically T foot will be placed at the end of the table. So we just go and refresh. So our table, still the T foot will be maintained at the end of the table. To align the content of your table, basically we have two properties, align and v-align, that is vertically align. The align property make the content to be aligned either left, right or center. The vertical align will align the information as top, bottom and middle. Now I want to make the data content 102 to be vertically aligned in the top. So I will go to that cell and make this vertical align to top. So now my content get aligned to the top. Next thing what I have to do is, I need to provide a cell spacing between all the cells. So I need to have a cell spacing here. So I am making the cell spacing. So what is meant by cell spacing? The cell spacing is the between the border of two cells we can see some space. Okay. So if I make the cell spacing 0, then there is no spacing between the borders. The two borders of the cells get collapsed. But now I am just giving the cell spacing as 10 pixel. Then automatically the distance between two cells border, we get a space. This is called a cell spacing. And the next thing we have it something called a cell padding. What is meant by cell padding? Cell padding is the space between the border and the content. So content inside the cell and the border. Between that distance is called as cell padding. So I am going to give a cell padding here. So cell padding equal to, I am going to give some 50 pixel. So cell padding represents the space between the cell border and the content of the cell. I just execute, go and refresh. So the distance, okay, the distance between the content and the cell border. So that will be a 50 pixel. That value will be represent as a distance between the cell border and the content of the cell. That is called as cell padding. To visually see this information, you can just right click the inspect. So I'm going to select the content 2, that is my table data 2. Cell value 2, you can see from the left it is 10 pixel from the border of the cell to the content, and from the top also it is 10 pixel, from the bottom also it is 10 pixel, and from the left also it is 10 pixel. So inside that only you have content will be available. So the distance between the border and the cell content is generally represented as cell padding. And now I need to give different colors for each row. So what I have to do is I can change the color for each row. So to define the color for each row, the background color, you can make it for every row. So for the first row, I need to have a yellow color. And the second row, that is the footer, last row, I want to keep it as pink color. And this is, I want to keep it as red. And this thing, I want to keep it as blue. I can make it different colors for each rows. So I can go here. So each row takes different color by defining the color style background color for every row. Suppose you want to give a specific color for only one cell, that also you can define the BG color for that cell alone. And now we will see with the next property, that is col span and row span. The thing what I want to do is I want to merge all the 3 columns of the last row and make it as have a nice day. I need to merge all the 3 columns and put a content called as have a nice day. So what I have to do, the last row, that is the food containing the last row, there I don't want to keep 3 different columns. I want to keep a single column. That column need to be extended to all the 3 columns. So what I have to do is I need to use with the property called as col span. I need to expand the column to 3 cells. So I keep a content, have a nice day. If I use this, what happens? You can see here, this column has extended to 3 columns, but still that 2 columns are available. But that 2 columns are not needed for me. So you just remove that columns. Yes, so now your 3 columns get merged for the last row. Now I want to merge the last column in the second row and the third row need to be merged together, because these 2 rows, the last column having the same name as James. So I want to merge together and keep it as a single row. So to do that, I need to use the property called as row span. So I go to the second row, that is this TD. Here, this TD, the third column of the second row, I am going to span for 2 rows. So now that row's last column and the next row's last column get spanned or merged together. So I will just go and check how it will look like. So now these two are merged together. So the column which is already available there, it is extended outside. So it needs to be removed. So we just remove this. And now we will see our table. It is structured with merging of 2 rows in the third column. By seeing this demo, you have got an idea how to structure a table in a web page using the semantic tags caption, t-head, t-foot and t-body. Then you can use with the various properties like border, width, height, background color, cell padding, cell spacing, and then vertical alignment of the content, normal alignment of the content, and finally we have seen how to merge the columns or rows using the properties called as row span and column span. Thank you.